21.5 cents. That is a level that needs to hold for Hedera. Take a look at this chart here. This is the daily source from Binance. We drew our fib from this bottom of this move here, which was around 12.68 cents, up to that wick high of around 30.5 cents, which we nailed on the 27th of July. And you can see the 21.5 cent level, which is our 50% fib level. Last time price got here, this was back in the range, it was about for a week between the very beginning of the month and the 7th of the month. So 1 week exactly, price chopped sideways, and then Hedera rallied around 20%. Well, that is where we are right now. I would like to note a potential bearish signal here as we see a little bit of an M pattern, and we could be potentially coming into a bear flag pattern depending on price action. If 21.5 cents doesn't hold, I'll give you guys the worst case scenario. There's a lot of talk about Trump. They're going to announce Bitcoin buys. They're going to announce a strategic reserve. He's pushing for the Clarity Act. So can Trump save the markets? Can Trump save a bear flag, an M breakdown, a potential move down to 16 cents? We're going to talk about that in this video. I also want to highlight a couple of Hedera ecosystem projects. One that you guys watching have been very loud about. And so I've heeded your loudness, and I'm going to share it with you. And then also have a new update on Saucer Swap. With that being said, I want to share this video. This was posted by the HBAR Bull. He had on, looks like, 2 Deloitte employees. So this part of the video, he asked, well, I'll just kind of let him lay it out, and interesting conversation here.
Now, Sebastian, I'm going to kick this one over to you. Why did you choose to build on top of Hedera? Why was Hedera the right network for you?
That's an excellent question. And at Deloitte, we don't take these decisions easily. I think it's very important on when we do something like this, that we choose the right network. And there's a couple of factors that played here. So for one, enterprise adoption. I think the council of Hedera is a great representation of the industry, also for the clients that we operate on. So when we found out that they had a very specific software development kit and a platform for sustainability claims, in combination with the low carbon footprint transactions, a couple of other things, that made us consider this essentially, which got us to this point, to be honest. And also the development community is a big plus. I think that really helps. So from a Guardian perspective, that's mostly no code, some coding we do to fine tune some details. And it was a bit of a learning curve, but the community really helped us. So I think that's a big plus. And overall, a great ecosystem of organizations and people that have the same sustainability goals in mind is just a great environment to be in.
So that is, we're talking about one of the big four, okay? One of the big four, Deloitte. They work with institutions that a lot of you have heard about. And it's just interesting as you hear from more and more builders and more institutions, why Hedera, why Hedera? The consensus answer seems to be the governing council. And I wonder, are we going to see an uptick in people building and working with Hedera now that Mance Harmon is a chair of the governing council, seeing as he is, well, he kind of created the thing, right? Him and Dr. Lehman created Hedera long time ago. Is he going to have any sway on people coming in and building? Because the governing council has always been an attractive point, an attractive reason to build and intertwine with the Hedera ecosystem. Now with Mance at the helm, and it's interesting that this gentleman mentioned the community and how they helped them build. And so I think if you can garner that sort of vibe, that sort of community, that sort of kind of ecosystem where people are helping each other, and then you got the large backing of the governing council and the connections they have and the resources they have, we could be heading into Hedera season. We'll get back in the chart here in a second. I do want to share an update on Saucer Swap, the #1 DEX on Hedera, #2 in terms of TVL. Tomorrow, Sauce lists on CoinSF, CoinsPH. I probably pronounce Coins Philippines. BSP regulated exchange with 16 million verified users. This is the first Hedera token on the platform, broadening access to the ecosystem. Let's talk about the listing. Marks their expansion into Southeast Asia. That's not the only big news. They're going cross-chain by launching a liquidity pool with wrapped Ethereum and the sauce token to tap into Coinbase's 1 million plus users. This is such a great move. And I think more L1s and more blockchains should do this, right? If you're not Solana or Base, you don't have that level of users yet, why not tap into that pool of users and grow your ecosystem and grow your network? Potentially grab some of those users and bring them over to the mainnet. And so I love this idea. Use your sauce and XSauce tokens to cast your vote to boost visibility for Hedera projects. And so shout out to the Sausage Swap team. This is exciting news, as was this. And then the other one, you guys keep throwing in the comments, Dovu. I was looking into this, hadn't really heard about it. Well, I kind of heard about it, but I hadn't really dug into it. Essentially trading carbon credits, right? RWAs, create audit trails for RWA, buy and sell verified assets on chain, Dovu operating system. If you look at their website, this is what they do. But they have a pretty hefty roadmap. And so when you take a look at a project like this, if you believe in Hedera, which I'm pretty sure if you're watching, that is you, you're looking at ecosystem plays. And well, this one is sitting at 50.69 million. Total supply is 10 billion with the circulating sitting at 82%. And so if you're looking to go down a tier of, okay, well, I can put my money in a HBAR and just let it sit and do well, or I can take a little more risk and have a little more reward by going into the actual ecosystem, projects like Sausage Swap, projects like potentially Dovu. And so I've been asked for a Dovu chart. In fact, I wasn't planning on doing it, but I'll go ahead and do it because I know you guys will be asking me in the chat, Dovu chart, Dovu chart, Dovu chart. Let's take and make sure this is the right one. Sitting at 006. Yes, it is the right one. Okay. Let's start on the high time frame, as I usually like to do. Seeing a really nice breakout here from Dovu. And again, this is the first time I am seeing this chart. As you can see, the chart is pretty clean outside of our volume range here, which we see a ton of volume coming in at 00066. That is where Dovu kind of chopped sideways and then had that massive explosion. We take a look at market cipher B. Money flow is rapidly expanding. We did get a clip on our momentum waves, or excuse me, our momentum indicators here, RSI and our stochastics. They did clip after making a higher high. And our momentum wave also made a higher high. VWAP looks like it's starting to inwardly curve, potentially rising to the upside again. But that money flow is looking really, really healthy. As you can see here, just a sharp up and to the right, no signs of slowing down, no signs of kind of clipping. So that is a positive sign. We can loop over to the daily time frame. Looks like daily money flow did just cross into the red barely. As you can see here, money flow has been in the green for quite some time, really since the price action was kind of chopping sideways, right? Price action chopping sideways before we had that massive move. And you can see during that chop sideways time, money flow was expanding and continuing to stay in the green. So if you have market cipher be a great indication, and people always try to front run moves. Pay attention to the money flow. If money flow is expanding while price is chopping sideways, that's usually an indication a big move is probably coming to whichever way the money flow is going. So if the money flow is down and price is sideways, expect a breakdown. And vice versa is true. And so that's what we saw here. If you want to get market cipher, highly, highly recommend it. It's something I use every single day in my trading. And I've the money I've spent on it, I've made it back 20-fold. And so it's been well worth it. Now, those of you that are sitting there saying, okay, I want to get into the Hedera ecosystem, but I don't want to buy this massive move. Let's draw our fibs and identify the 50% fib level. Let's actually take this one because that was a top. And why don't you see it like we see consistently on this channel that I chart and pull my fibs? 50% fib level, holding strong yet again. And so if you're looking for a great entry, of course, I can't tell the future. I don't know what's going to happen. But 0056 would be a great level if we do see that in the near future, which I do think we will, as we've seen volume drop and volume on the pullback start to rise. That would be the level I'd be targeting if you want the exposure, but if you don't want to jump on this high speed moving train. Let's get back to the HBAR chart I mentioned. 21.5 cents needs to hold for Hedera. Again, few things. M pattern should break to the downside, coming into a potential, it also looks like a bear flag that is has a little more room to go, looking at around 22.9, 23 cents. 21.5 cents again, you guys. That Fibonacci I drew, that is the 50% fib level. If you look at the volume, once you break below that 25 cents, you have a minor volume node here at 19 cents. And then it's really a ghost town. So you get down to like 15.5 to 16 cents, which coincides with our 786 Fibonacci level. So the worst case scenario is we lose the 50, we lose the gold pocket. Volume here does nothing for us, and we come all the way back down to 15 to 16 cents. That would be the worst case scenario. I don't think that's probable. I think a more likely scenario, we see some sort of announcement. Maybe Trump comes out and pushes the Clarity Act. Maybe that gets passed. I don't know. A lot of people have said that the Clarity Act being signed into law is going to be that catalyst that everyone's been talking about to get this massive bull run going. Or I've been hearing rumblings. I know the Supreme Court's been I know this is not related to crypto, but I'll tell you how it ties in. The Supreme Court has been, I think they made a ruling on Trump being able to fire certain people he appoints that have to get confirmed by the Senate that he wasn't able to fire before, like the SEC chair. And I don't know if the Fed chair is going to be part of that new Supreme Court ruling. If it is, expect him to fire Jerome Powell, expect someone else to come in there and start cutting rates heavily. Now, I believe if that happens, we might see an initial surge, and then I think we're going to see a bigger pullback. But at the end of the day, that initial surge, could that be the catalyst? And who knows, momentum might take us from there. I think it all depends. I'd be eyeing, again, 21.5 cents and seeing how this pattern will play out if this is, in fact, a bear flag. Now, I will note, Hedera previously, and I want to say it was, I believe it was back here, it was printing a bear flag. I think it was here or here. And we took out the high, the previous high, and that bear flag wasn't validated. So it's done it before. Can it do it again? Time will tell. We'll make sure to keep you updated on this channel. Make sure you're subbed and come check out our live show Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Till the next one. Peace.